Hafide, and we're back. Another week, another episode. And for this one, I am so excited and honored at the same time to have her on my podcast. Yes, it's the one, the only, make it how you want it. It's Netty Cee from the State of My here with us on the podcast. Netty, thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for it was out of nowhere. She was shooting her video here at the Paseo Court, and I saw the Instagram story, and I swiped up, and I was like, hey, sister, are you able to jump on the podcast? And she's like, yes, I got you. And I'm like, so that's why we're here. Netty, so tell the people more about you.
I'm from Saipan. I grew up in San Antonio, born and raised.
Earlier we were talking, and I figured out that for what I believed how you started was from cooking and then rapping. But it was the other way around. So tell us more about that. How did that come about?
Okay, so I got onto TikTok because my friends said, hey, you should check out TikTok because you want to put, if you want to put your music out there, go there because that's where you can go viral. You can get so many followers. I'm like, okay, so I went there, put out a song. My most current song at the time, which was I Will Prevail, and it just was like not going anywhere. I ended up deleting that video. Then I posted another video, but this time it was a mukbang. It was me, my sister, and some family friends. And it was my first viral TikTok video. And I was like, okay, well, people love to watch us eat. So, I started posting video of me eating, and it kind of went. It just wasn't like going where I wanted it to go. And then I did rap duets. I put out more music. It's still like it wasn't hitting, I don't know what to do. And then I moved back home and started posting cooking videos, and now people know that I rap, They're like, wow, you rap? This is your song? Like, yes, girl. That's what I wanted you to hear in the beginning.
Those videos are just amazing, and I want to get into the comments because earlier we were talking. You talked about some very inspiring things that are coming out of your comment section. Let's face it. Let's not talk about the other side. You did address that already. Make it how you want it. Okay, but let's talk about some of the positive things that come out of your comment section.
The people People are learning from my videos. They're like, they don't even cook and they're cooking. And like, you make it look so easy. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. Like, it makes me so happy to know that like my video helped you and you got to feed your family with it, and a lot of the foods that I post are also very budget friendly, so maybe I can also help you save money, in dinner ideas instead of going out. But also like the one comment that I really, really loved was my cousin when she was like, hey, this person told me that to tell you thank you because you made me a better wife because now she can cook for her husband.
Wow.
Like that's such a compliment. Like, wow, thank you. Like, I hope you guys like it.
And they do. You talk about, the views. And of course, I love it when you team up with Guam Funny Memes, Guam Viral. And
shout out to Guam Funny Memes. Shout out to Guam Funny Memes. I swear to God. Oh, I might keep sorry.
Oh, you're good.
It's because of them. I feel like I have more followers on Instagram because they hit me up. They're like, hey, tag us in your videos. Like we'll help you. I'm like, thank you. I wasn't very I didn't have much followers on Instagram, but until Guam Funny Memes was like, hey, you can just tag us and it'll show up on our feed. I'm like, please
collab. And that's one of the cool things
about collaboration. Yeah.
And I think that too, and I think the social media game here in the islands, especially Guam and Saipan, I think one of the cool things is, of course, there are people who have their own side of things, but I love how pages like Guam Funny Memes kind of reach out to different artists like you and Jen and like other young artists who are either singing, cooking, or doing other cool stuff on Instagram, and they do collab and they kind of bring them in and use the different pages as a way to put their content out. So that collaboration and the camaraderie within the different content creators here in the islands is such an amazing thing to see, and you being a part of it. That's huge, and to see how your videos have grown and wow, they talk about not only here in the Marianas and Micronesia, but out to the States too. Like islanders like share your video nonstop, and they take your recipes, they save it, and they use it. And you talk about somebody telling your cousin like, hey, definitely changed my life, and changed the way my wife cooks, and now she cooks amazing chamorro dish. So that's awesome to hear. Let's talk about we talked about the positive side, and I kind of want to before we close out this part of the talk, like kind of go back into the whole make it how you want it, and like of course people were like commenting left and right, but your take on that, like what
I just hope they learn something from it. You know, obviously, if you don't cut it the way I cut it, or you don't use the same seasonings, that's fine. But if you can take something like, you know, you watch it and you're like, okay, I don't like that she used this, but I'm going to use this. And that's fine too. Like, I just hope you learn. You know what I mean? Just hope you learn something from me, because that's what we want to teach, right? But especially, you know, if you try to, like, for example, like a chamorro dish, and that's another comment that I really like seeing, is when they're like, you know, I tried this years ago on Guam or on Saipan. I've never had it after that, and I've always wanted to learn how to make it, you know. And when they find my video, they're like, oh my gosh, this is how it is. Like something as simple like as finadeni.
Oh yeah.
For me, that's basic, right? It's so easy. Like, I don't even feel like I should make a video for it. But some people are like, can you please share your finadeni recipe? I'm like, it's literally soy sauce, lemon, and hot pepper. That's it. Like, I'm not doing anything special. But yet they're happy because they learn how to make it. I'm like, wow, you know, I guess something that's so common for us is not common for everybody else. And vice versa, right?
Now I'm about to get into how you say, like, this is like, let's say this is how you make shrimp. This is one of the ways you make shrimp patties, because like you said, in the islands, like finadeni can be made in so many different ways. Like you talked about yours, and then now like it's like people's like, well, where's the onions? We'll throw in onions, you know?
Yeah, right. It's like, if you like it, put it in. Like, jeez, this is how I like it. I didn't say this is how your mom makes it. My goodness. Sorry, that's just...
No, you're good.
I mean, in my block list.
Yeah, you're good. I mean, like I said, you're very real, and that's why people gravitate you. It's your character that adds to the video, to the recipe, to the song that you use your song in the background. I think that's one of the many great ways that your video resonate with other people. So that's very awesome and very inspiring. Like I said, we talked about the people who have responded to your video in such positive ways, and thanking you for doing such a thing. And I guess at the same time, I think, you know, putting the recipes out there. I mean, not a lot of people are doing that. I mean, of course, there's cookbooks and stuff, but who's gonna? I mean, of course, you can go on Amazon. You can find amazing chamorro cookbooks, and I know a couple. But, you know, just seeing that on the go is something that's so easy, so quick, and boom, you do it. Yeah,
and it's free.
Exactly.
It's free.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there are some people out there who go to the grocery store and think of something to make, look at your video, and then look at the recipe, and then boom, to the house, and voila.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy. That's how crazy technology is. And
somebody actually commented that, like, I always look at your videos for dinner ideas. I'm like,
wow.
Solid.
See?
Yeah.
Amazing. That's awesome. Well, Netty, the cooking videos are awesome, but at the same time, you are a chamorro rapper, and we're going to talk about that coming up in just a little bit in this next part. Talk about how it all began for you rapping, and not only just rapping, but rapping in chamorro. That's something that's very inspiring. It's a way to keep the chamorro music going. At the same time, keep the language going, keep the language alive. So we'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. We are watching the One Micronesia Podcast. We'll be right back. Hafide, and we're back. One Micronesia Podcast. We're still here with the one, the only, make it how you want it. Netty Cee in the house for the amazing episode of the One Micronesia Podcast. Netty, we talked about how it all started for you, which I didn't know before we started the podcast, that, you know, it was the rap game for you, and then the cooking video, because people know you now as Netty Cee, you know, the Make It How You Want It, amazing, who features amazing chamorro dish and the recipes when you cooking videos. So that's awesome. But at the same time, you said that you've included your music in your videos, which is kind of gaining attention. People are like, wait, is that you? Wait, I'm hearing you cooking, but it sounds like you're rapping. Is that your music? So let's talk about how it all began for you with the rapping. Like, was it singing first and then rapping? Was it always rapping first? Where did it all start for you?
I mean, I never planned to be a singer, you know. I mean, karaoke, yes.
Yeah.
Karaoke, yes, for sure. But
what's your go-to get karaoke?
My go-to karaoke
song, yeah.
Top of the World, Color Printers.
Oh, wow.
I always have to sing that, or a Girl Crush.
Okay.
Always. But yeah, so it was Cardi B, actually. So my mom passed away in 2017 and 2018 or 2019. Like, you know, my mom was the only parent I knew. And we were living in Hawaii, and, you know, we had family there, but it also kind of felt like, you know, you're kind of on your own, right? I didn't realize that I depended on my mom a lot. Maybe not for everything, but I just like knowing that she was there. You know, that if anything was to happen, that I'm not going to stress about it. My mom's here. And when my mom passed away, I had to be really creative. I'm like, and I'm the oldest sibling, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how can I be my mom, basically? Not really my mom, but like, how can I be this for my family, right? Because she was very she's so important to all of us, right? And when she was gone, like who are they gonna depend on now, right? And I had to be really creative. Like how can I be in a position where I can help my family? And so I had to be really creative, and I had to think about it. And I met I was waiting tables at the time. I was teaching and waiting tables, and I saw this YouTuber. He had this really nice fancy camera like yours, and I was like, I'm wiping tables and I'm trying to mind my business, literally trying to do my job, but I was just very curious. I'm like, man, don't tell me this guy's a YouTuber. I'm so like, wow, I'm in awe. I didn't even know him. And so when he was almost done, that's when I started talking to them. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I just have to ask, are you a YouTuber? Then he's like, yes. I was like, wow, how many subscribers do you have on YouTube? He's like, oh, I just have 18,000. I'm like, my mouth dropped.
Just
18,000. Like, we're talking about YouTube, kid. This is not no TikTok. This is YouTube. That's a lot.
It is.
That's a lot. And he was just very humble about it. And like, he encouraged me. His name is Jackie. I'll never forget him. And I ended up following him on YouTube, and I was just very inspired. And so anyways, I took that into consideration. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do now? Like, yes, YouTube is there. Okay, I get it. Maybe I want to be a YouTuber one day. And I was driving and I heard Cardi B's song Wish Wish, DJ Khaled. Right? You heard that song, Wish Wish? And because of where I work, I can't really like, if I wanted to sing it out loud, I couldn't say the actual lyrics.
Right.
Cardi B, I love her, but the lyrics. And so I'm like, man, how, in my head, I'm always changing the bad words.
Right.
So that when I sing it, I'm saying the good words instead of the bad words. Right. And so it was just in my head, and I would sing it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Maybe I can. And I love the song, and I would listen to it all the time. I'm like, what if I made a cover for this song? And so I ended up doing a cover on a song. I posted it on YouTube. People were like, oh my gosh, you rap. Like, they've known me all their lives, and they didn't even know I could rap. They didn't even know I like rap music, right? And so that's how it started. I went on YouTube, and then I did like 2 covers. And somebody's like, why don't you just write your own song? Why are you making covers? I'm like, well, that's what I want to do. Are you sure you don't want to write your song? I'm like, no, I didn't want to write a song. I ended up doing it. I felt like, okay, you know what? If you say I cannot do it, I'm going to do it. Right? So I ended up doing it. I made a song, and I got, a good feedback on it. So I focused on that. It played on the radio in Saipan, and I cried, was just very like, wow, I never thought I'd hear myself on the radio like this. And here we are now.
Wow.
And people don't know me because of my music. It's from food or...
But that's awesome to hear, like, how it all started for you, and then now you have originals out.
Yes.
So, but let's talk about your writing process. I mean, it's one thing to listen to a song. It's another thing to kind of take whatever that song is, and we've been doing that here in the region for so long. Like years and years ago, we've translated country songs into what are classics nowadays. You talk about Micronesian music. There's a lot of country in Micronesian music. So that process, talk about your process, because I think every artist from JD Crutch to Conception to everybody had their own process. But talk about your process of how you go in, and because to do this you need to know the language. Yeah. So let's talk about your process.
Okay, so the Chamorro one, I didn't want to rap in Chamorro. Because rap is not Chamorro music, it's Black culture.
Right.
And I didn't want to do that, but I also love rap, I just couldn't listen to it in front of my grandpa or my aunties, because they don't listen to that kind of music. They listen to country Chamorro songs, but not rap. And so the Chamorro music, rap part came when somebody DM me, somebody I knew. She's like, hey, why don't you rap in Chamorro? I'm like, no, I don't want to rap in Chamorro. Just try it. She's like, just try it. You have so much family that can help you, if you need help. Write it down and see if if it makes sense. I'm like, okay. That same night, I ended up writing my first verse.
Wow.
Yeah, I was so inspired. Once I got the first line, which is "Mafaisin na ano like go sa Netty Cee." I'm like, oh my gosh, whoa, we can do this. Yeah. And so I would call my auntie, and then I would, I record myself, and I write it down. I'm saying, hey, does this make sense? Because I know what I'm trying to say, but I can understand Chamorro, I can speak it, but I'm not fluent. I can't speak it fluently. Like, like just how we're speaking English right now, I can't do it like that. I can if I really think about it. And simple conversations, but my auntie, she's like, don't say this is not how you say it. I know what you're trying to say, but that's actually like a broken way to say it. And it was like a whole process. But then I ended up getting it down so that by the next song, all I did was like, hey, this is the Chamorro song. Like, does this make sense? She's like, yeah, sounds good. Like, all right. Then I also use the Chamorro dictionary. If you don't know, there's a Chamorro dictionary online. Check it out. It's actually based on Guam, that Chamorro dictionary. It's an online dictionary. And so I would go there for like spelling. Yeah, I don't know how to spell in Chamorro. You know, like I don't know if you noticed, there's different spellings for certain things. There
are like where to put the glotas and stuff like that. Yeah,
or the thing on top of the A.
The thing on top of the A.
Yeah, but it's through that, and I would sit on my kitchen table, and that's how I wrote the song. It was on my kitchen table, and it's when I'm feeling inspired, you know. And I wrote the Chamorro part, and then I couldn't get the rest of the song, the English part, you know. And it took a while. Maybe it took like 2-3 months to finish the song, just the writing process. Depends. Some songs I just write in like an entire night, you know, or a verse, and then some it takes forever.
It does. I mean, when you talk about, you know, translating, of course, English is so easy for us, right? We learned this since grade school, so now it's just it's a snap of the finger. You already know what to do. It's so easy to not to translate, but to speak it and sing it. You know, we already know how to conversate and stuff, but when it comes to translating into our own language, now it's hard. You talk about, you know, the different ways to say stuff. I mean, it's like that across Micronesia. You talk about, you know, back home in Yap, like there are ways, like I'm even speaking new generation Yappies. I'm not even the old school Yappies. I don't even at me because I will mess it up and I will get, you know, I get thrown under the bus for it. And my parents yell at me like, that's how you say it. You said it the wrong way. You should have said it this way. There's like a million ways to say just one word. So it's stuff like that. So that's why it takes a long time. And I get the process, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. It's just like, because as an artist, I think you want to put something out that people can listen to and gravitate towards. And at the same time, the older generations who are listening to it, like, okay, she actually did a good job, like, you know, translation on point. So I get the process. I mean, take how long you want, as long as it comes out and people love it.
As long as it makes sense, right?
Exactly. So, I mean, so Netty, what an awesome. We're gonna take a break, but when we come back, we're gonna talk about the future of Netty Cee. Talk about the projects that you're working on. Talk about what can people expect from Netty Cee. Now, of course, we're gonna see a whole lot of hope. We can see a whole lot of cooking videos coming out, but at the same time, we want to see more of Netty Cee's music and where to go from there and what can people expect in the future. So we'll talk about that coming up. We're going to take a break, guys, so we'll be right back. One Micronesia Podcast, BRB. Hafide, and we're back. One Micronesia Podcast. We're still here with the one, the only Netty Cee from Saipan. She's here doing her thing, visiting family, but took the time out to be on the podcast with us. Thank you so much again, Netty. We talked about how it all started for you, which wasn't what I thought was a cooking video, but it was not. It was supposed to be rap, but stuff happened, but you used other ways and other means to put your music out there, which was the cooking videos, and it's everywhere. People know you as the make it how you want it, you know, make it how you want it. So that, we talked about your music, how it all started for you, the process, how you go through and translate the different songs, and you talk about your first, you talked about how you made your first ever single. Let's talk about now about what people can expect from Netty Cee in the future. Or is there a project that you want to talk about?
I have a music video coming up. That's actually what brought me to Guam. You know, because when opportunity comes knocking at your door, you don't say, hold on, wait. You say, okay, come in. You're hungry? You thirsty? What can I do to make you comfortable, opportunity? So that's actually why I'm here. And then I have family that just came in from the mainland too, so I extended my stay. But music video, shout out to STG Filmmakers. You know, I don't know if you know Shane and Tanya.
Yep.
Yeah, so them. So the song that we're working on is Nothing Into Something. So I don't know, shout out to Valley of the Lati.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Uncle John Ray Ogun. Yeah, so his Lati, his Carabao will be featured in that music video. That's all I can say. I'm sorry, but
that's like I said, you don't give away everything.
Yeah, come on, just know that he'll be featured in the video. Okay?
Awesome.
I won't tell you how, but so that music video is coming up. And there's some stuff that I just can't really say, but just know that you're gonna still see me on TikTok. I haven't been cooking because I'm on Guam, you know, and it's been busy. I'm surprised. I'm like, oh, is this what it's like?
Is this what that YouTuber feels like?
Yeah. And I'm not complaining, you know. I'm not used to it. It's crazy.
Wow, that's awesome. So, and then of course, like I said, you will be seeing more cooking videos. So before, you know, for the cooking videos, is there a specific recipe that you haven't featured that maybe you want to do down the line? Something that you've been thinking about, a recipe that you haven't done in a while, or you haven't done at all, that you want to feature? Maybe one or two, or one's fine. You don't want to give away all your secrets now.
I've done a chicken kelaguen one, but it was kind of like a fast break one. This is like in 2020 or 2021. So I'm gonna do an actual full video of me making chicken kelaguen and the way you eat it at a party. You know?
Oh yeah.
People have been asking me to make titizas. That's a family recipe. I'm not the one making it, so I can't share it. But lots more, and I can't really think about it right now. But just awesome. Whatever I feel like eating that day, I just might make it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I know I've messaged you about this merchandise. Are you thinking about it? Are you thinking about
I'm actually thinking about putting out merch. I'm working on it.
Oh, hey! As long as you said you're working on it, I'm one of the ones that are waiting.
That's good. I'm glad you're asking me, because now that I said it, I really have to do it. Okay.
Now it's documented.
Now I have to do it. Now it's on film. Like, girl, you said last year you were gonna put up merch, and until now it's like dos años. Okay, so I'm gonna do it.
Oh wow! Anything else that you want people to know? That
since I got here, I'm not even, and I'm just very like, it was overwhelming in a good way. Like, wow, people know me here. It's Guam, the last time I was here, nobody even knew who I was. And now I come here and I have to look down but man, I gotta say, I love Guam. Like, thank you guys. Thank you. I feel so much love, it's crazy. I just never thought that, the Saipan girl would receive so much love from Guam. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, I'm very, I'm shocked and I'm thankful. I feel very blessed.
So Letty, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to definitely throw out the last message. I know you you did one already, but we'll come back and we'll talk to your fans and talk to a little message to people who felt inspired by what you do, as being an artist and, as being a true islander and real and genuine. So we're going to talk about that coming up after this. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. Hafide, and we're back. One Micronesia Podcast, the last part of it. We're still here with Netty Cee. Netty, it was such an inspiring to hear your story, how it all began, the cooking, the rapping, and then what people can expect from you, like that music video. We can't wait for it. The merch, I'm ready, and when it's ready, I'm definitely one of those who's gonna definitely jump in and grab a merch. But let's close it out here with a message to all your followers and people who follow you and people who have felt inspired by your videos that you post on TikTok and Instagram.
I would say go for it. Go for it no matter how hard it feels. No matter if you feel like you don't have the resources to do it. Just do it. You have a cell phone or even a laptop or iPad. Record it. You never know. And that one video, maybe right now you're working in a room, with no aircon, right? For example. And maybe next year you're going to have plenty of aircons in your room. Just keep going, because you never know where it can take you. Like, I'd never expected to be sitting here on a podcast. Not even to come to Guam, or for people who know me on Guam. I didn't expect that. Of course, who doesn't want to be rich and famous and all of that, right? But it's just when you get to a little fame, it's just like, wow, it's a little overwhelming. But it's also very nice to see that, wow, my work is it's working. Whatever I'm doing, it's working. I might be doing something right, and I hope that people know, hey, just because you see it right now doesn't mean there wasn't all that hard work. And there's still going to be a lot of hard work. It's still hard work. Until social media can pay my bills, I'm still going to keep going for it. I'm going to keep going and going until I make it. And if I don't, then at least I know I tried.
All right. So, Netty, before I let you go, look at the camera and just let people know where they can find you on Instagram, TikTok, the whole shebang.
You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook and YouTube at Netty Cee Official, NETTYCEE Official. That's it.
And then music is your music.
Oh, you can find my music on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Pandora, SoundCloud, Spotify. Anywhere you can find music, I'm sure it might be there.
Well, Netty, thank you so much. It was such a very amazing and inspiring talk that I've had with you. And like I said, good luck to whatever you got coming up. I know the music video. I can't wait for it. The merch and everything. Good luck and keep doing you.
Thank you.
Make it how you want it.
Thank you.
That pretty much concludes another episode of the One Micronesia Podcast with Netty Cee. Guys, we'll see you guys on the next one. My name is Victorious, and I gotta say is peace. Let's talk about some of the positive things that come out of your comment section.
The people learn people are learning from my videos, you know. They're like, they don't even cook and they're cooking. And like, you make it look so easy, and I'm like, man, that's awesome. Like, it makes me so happy to know that like my video helped you and you got to feed your family with it, you know. And a lot of the foods that I post are also very budget friendly, you know, so maybe I can also help you save money, you know, in dinner ideas instead of going out. But also, like, the one comment that I really, really loved was my cousin when she was like, hey, you know, this person told me that to tell you thank you because you made me a better wife, because now she can cook for her husband.
Wow.
You know, like, that's such a compliment. Like, wow, thank you. Like,